talking unless y'all giving me land and $2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
I'm not talking unless y'all giving me likes, commenting, subscribing, sharing. You hear me? Okay. Hey, bitch. Listen, we got to get into some things when it comes to Bravo, okay? A little bit. Are we going to get into Married to Medicine? I may save that for the review because I know y'all been waiting on the review, honey, and we're going to get into it, all right? Child, the way the fans be going crazy, I'll be honest, child, I don't be in a rush to do a review. Okay, I really don't. But I'm so glad the show is coming to an end. But anywho, we're going to get into that at a later time. But right now, we're going to talk more so about Real Housewives. And can I also say, before we get this video started, my girl, Onija Robinson, is back. But we're going to talk about that in another video as well, all right? And with her being back, you know, I've been keeping her alive by playing her sound. But now that she's back, you know, I may stop the sound and I may just come in talking, okay? Giving y'all a little bit of hey bit, and then I'm not talking, okay? Unless you're giving me likes, period. But anywho, just wanted to go ahead and get a few of those things out the way, all right? Let's go ahead and hop right on into the reason why we are here, all right? I want to talk about Angela Oakley, new cast member for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Miss Kelli, one of the new favorites of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then I also want us to tap on, you know, Miss Cynthia Bailey. She's a veteran of Real Housewives of Atlanta because she's going to talk about Kenya more, some more of the dynamics with the ladies. And we just got to get into some things. Now, first of all, Angela Oakley, let's chat about her and Charles for a little piece, okay? Because, you know, on the show, Angela tells us stories without really giving us the story for real. And a lot of people begin to talk about her and Charles likely being together or separated and him having a child on her. Now, I will say Angela kind of brought this on herself. You know, when you're going into reality TV, in my opinion, I've never done it, don't really desire to do it. But what I will say is when you're coming into reality TV, just go ahead and just give us all. What Funky Dineva says, go ahead and spray your tea so don't nobody else got to do it for you. All right? Just put it all out there. All right? Somebody else can relate because I'm sure there is a woman or a few that decided to stay with their partner after they had an outside child or whatever the case is, or break baby, shall I say. I believe that may be what happened with Gabrielle Union and her husband. They broke up. He had a break baby. They came back together, whatever the case is. Now, child, I haven't seen the break baby. Don't know where he had a baby at. At least you done showed the baby, this man baby. Okay? But anyway, girl, that's not why we here. Okay? Listen, so what ended up happening was she talked about her children. She has a daughter. Then she said Charles has his son. Then she mentioned her daughter. But it was like she gave us, I believe, the age of her daughter, but she didn't give us the age of the young boy. Or either she gave us the age of the young boy. It was something about the way it was shot, or maybe just the way that she was talking, that left us a bit confused as to where this little boy came from. Okay, like, girl, what is this, your child or his child? What's going on? So she gave us that. And then she goes on to talk about an incident that took place with Charles getting kicked out of an arena, fighting, whatever. He wasn't really fighting, but kind of, okay? He kind of ended up fighting the security people that tried to get him out the building. And she says she couldn't heal him, so they ended up living in separate homes. And I'm so confused by that. So that led people to dig even further. Well, the people dug up a clip of Wendy Williams talking about Angela, all right? And how, you know, when Wendy got exposed with Kevin having an outside child, even though Wendy knew about the relationship he was in with Miss Sharina for many years, she was cool with it appears, until he had that damn baby. And she like, I could deal with a lot of shit. I could deal with you using my money to put this hoe up and housing her. I could deal with that. What I can't deal with is you having a baby on me. Yikes. That's where we draw the line? Okay. So she's like, I can't do it anymore. Well, she talks about, and I want to get that clip up, where she ends up running into Angela Oakley of some sort, and Angela has some things to say. So this has been the clip that's been surfacing, but Angela has also come out and spoke about said clip. So let us get into it.
My favorite thing is when reality...
Before we get to her, let's get to this.
So I said goodbye to Charles, and then she came over and said goodbye, and she gave me a hug, and then she whispered in my ear, she said, can I tell you something? I said, what? She goes, Wendy, it's only a baby. Oh. You can work this out. And I looked at her like, has this ever happened to you? So she said, yes. I said, did you work it out? And she pointed over to Charles and said, yes. I said, well, then you're more forgiving than me.
So that's what Wendy said, all right? And hopefully they don't try and snatch down the audio, because nowadays they've been trying to snatch down the videos and the audio, all right? So basically, Wendy says she bumped into Charles and she saw Angela, or whatever the case was, had a conversation with Angela Oakley. This is after the rumors came out about her husband, Wendy's husband, Kelvin, having a child on her. Angela says, hey, Wendy, girl, it's only a baby. Wendy like, oh, so you must have been through that? You've been through that? And she's like, well, yeah. She points at Charles and says, we have been through that, okay? She forgave him. They're still together, all right? I had to recap that just in case they try and snatch my audio back, just a little piece, okay? So there's that. Well, it appears that Miss Ma'am came out and had some things to say. And you know what? Before we get to what Angela said, I want to check out this TikTok video, all right? Let us hop over and check out this TikTok video to see what was said here, and then we'll get back into what Angela had to say. So let's check this out.
TV stars think we're as stupid as they want us to be. So did we peep in episode 2 of Real Housewives of Atlanta when Angela said this?
We shared 4 beautiful children. I have Amari, who's 24, Aiden, who's 11, Charles has Charlie Jr., and we shared Arlie, who's 7. Ooh, look.
See, that's what it was. Shout out to this creator, because, baby, she didn't even mention the whole age. I knew it was something, and I forgot that it was 4 kids, so I done skipped over Angela's 11-year-old son. Sorry about that. So she has a daughter and 11-year-old. Charles has his child, and then she has her 7-year-old. Okay, so that leaves some question, because when I looked at the video and I looked at the pictures, I'm like, okay, so your daughter and Charles's son look like they about the same age. But y'all met, did you say y'all been together 10 years or something? Something about it was not adding up. Was this right before the relationship? Could the little boy be 10 but look young? You know, us, the black don't always crack on the people. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, we be looking younger than what we is. So is that the case with the young baby?
I can't wait to eat.
Did you hear that? Did you hear how she phrased that? I have her. Charles have Charlie Jr.
And whoever the person was, if this was, let's say this was a side chick, right? The side chick naming his first son Charlie Jr. is a piece of crazy. That's crazy, right? I mean, maybe not so crazy because it's his first child, I suppose. But y'all was together. What if you went on to have a son? Your child couldn't even get that Charlie Jr. because it was given to the other woman's son, right? Yikey dikey. Just a piece, but thank God you went on to have a daughter so that the awkwardness wouldn't continue. I mean, what was he gonna be? Charlie the third after then having the second? I don't know. That's none of my business. Let's keep going.
And then we share bloop, right? My favorite thing is when reality TV stars think we're. Then in last night's episode, she says this.
2017 with Madison Square Garden, that was a very, very rough time. Charles was attending a game in New York. The owner does not like Charles and called security to come escort him out. And we were newly married and he needed to heal and I couldn't heal.
So 2017, they were newly married. So I gotta add it up, girl. I have to add it up. 2025. Boom. 8 years ago. So that was about 8 years ago. But the youngest is 7. So did he get the lady pregnant right before y'all got married? Either way, y'all was in a relationship with y'all was newly married. So did did y'all separate? He had the baby, or did he cheat on you? Because it could be that it's a break baby potentially.
During this time, I was just like, you know what? We're going to try to work through this at a distance. And we did live separately. So us just recommitting to one another, I feel like is important at this moment. Because everything that happened since we got married, it affected us. Yeah. But Charles, this whole...
And Angela is saying it without saying it. She's trying to put a lot of weight on the altercation that took place at the game. And everything that happened, I mean, it may be... I don't know, Angela, girl. It's looking like the man cheated on you, and we just want you to be forthcoming with that. But it's very possible, and I have to be fair here, whether people like it or not, that they broke up. He had a baby on her, got somebody else pregnant, and maybe that hurt her because during the time that they broke up, maybe they were supposed to be working on themselves, right? And instead of him actively working on himself and fixing things so they could come back together, he goes on and gets somebody else pregnant. okay, or potentially started a relationship in the midst of their breakup. When she's thinking that they're separating to get back together, he's like, I'm gonna do what I do. So anything is possible, but let's keep going.
Putting our vow renewal over my head because he feels like we spent all these money on these houses. Let's handle this first, and then we can jump into something else.
Then in last night's episode, now you gonna sit up here and look us dead in that camera lens and say because he was kicked out of a New York Knicks game is why y'all had to live separated? No, it's giving that Charlie Jr. was born during the same year y'all got married, or like right after y'all got married, or right before y'all got married, and that's why you had to stay separated, and that's why it's so important for you to renew your vows. Which, if that's what it is, then that's what it is. Live your truth. We're
Right,
not
just
dummies.
say that.
Like, what? Like, I don't get it. Like, did you think we wasn't gonna catch that? I'm sorry.
Now, what I also want to say is Charlie Jr. could be the very reason as to why they ended up getting married. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, because maybe she needed more of a commitment at that time. The way Charles kind of acts sometimes when she sat up there and said, another 10 years, he's like, ugh, that's a long time. Like, I don't know if he said it like he don't know if he gonna make it to another 10. So it seems like, Charles, did you get married because you really wanted to be married, or did you get married just to appease, her, and it was guilt that you got somebody else pregnant? So it's very true that, maybe, hey, she found that out and he wanted her back or something. They're trying to come back together. And she said, the only way I'm going to do this, because I've already been in a relationship with you, you're going to have to marry me. You're going to have to give me something more to stand on. All right. So if something happened to your mother, at least I'm going to get my little pieces that I'm supposed to get. So it's very well possible that that could be the case. But you guys leave your thoughts and comments down below on that. But Miss Angela does go on. And this is what she says. She says that Wendy Williams article is insane. Laughing emoji. Wait until y'all find out how old Charlie Jr. is. Stay tuned. Well, we are wondering, okay? Because we do not know. She did not tell us his age. So we don't know if he's 10 because she has an 11-year-old. We don't know if he's 6, if he's 7, 8, 9. We don't really know. All right. Someone else goes on to say more like effed up because this ain't my story. That's what she's saying. Okay. She was responding to somebody and said this ain't her story. So we shall see how that is going to play out. But y'all let me know what your thoughts are. I tried to give a lot of different scenarios as to how this thing could have happened. And granted, all of my scenarios could be completely wrong because, again, maybe, just maybe, Charlie Jr. is much older than what we think, but also I think she said they met 10 years ago, or they've been together for 10 years, maybe they broke up for like 2 or so, but they've been married for 8. So it's somewhere up in there. I feel like they've been together for 10 years, but married for 8. So if Charlie Jr. is 9, then maybe he had someone else pregnant at the time, or no, if he's 10. It's possible that baby don't look 10, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm over here looking. Let me go back. I mean, I just have to, we're going to have to look at it. We're going to have to pause this for just a little piece. Because that baby don't look older than 9. Okay. So these are the kids. Okay. Her daughter looks much younger, though. She intentionally omits Charlie Jr.'s age. So I'm just like, I don't know. Charlie Jr. Anywho, honey, Angela, the Some in the Milk is not, it's not thinning out. Okay, it's not thinning out, it's not blending in, but either way, we can respect a blended family. Okay, so good luck. To Miss Angela. I'm not going to spend much time on that. I feel like I've spent more than enough. Let us go ahead and move on, and I want us to get into Miss Kelli. All right. First off, she did a sit down with Watch What Happens Live with Andy, and of course she talks about Miss Porsha. There's a segment about Porsha, and I want us to listen to it. So let's get into it.
Time for a round of Porsha control. Kelli, I have questions about your new pal, Porsha. Answer as honestly as you can. How could Porsha better have handled learning that Drew was working with Dennis and asked him to film with her?
Well, I think she should maybe take her own advice.
Do you really think what's happening with Porsha and Simon is karma for Porsha after taking that woman's husband?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely.
Oh, as a businesswoman yourself, what do you truly make of Porsha's Go Naked hair and Pampered by Porsha lines?
Oh, my goodness.
Both very successful.
I think it's great. No, I love the sheets. I love the hair. I think she's an amazing businesswoman. Absolutely.
Drew aside, which of your pals do you feel like Porsha could stand to be a better friend to?
Shamia.
On a scale from 1 to 10, where would you rate Porsha's ego?
11.
Well, that's what I mean, that's what makes a good housewife.
Yeah,
I'm
and that's
sorry.
what makes a good businesswoman.
Not
Yeah,
mad at her.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
not mad at her.
Okay, very good. What kind of man should Porsha date next?
Not an African.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Kelli is on point. She said this lady should not, her next guy should not be an African. I'm like, her next guy should be nobody for a few years, period. Okay? Date them. Just a little piece and keep them off your public profile. All right? That's it. Just a little piece. Not too much, Miss Porsha. All right? What else did she say? She could stand to be a better friend to Shamia. All right. When it comes to the situation with her and Drew, she should take some of her own advice on how she handles situations. Okay. While you over here trying to give etiquette skills to Drew and how she should operate. Okay. Then you turned around a few years ago and did what you did. Girl, not only was you over there filming with somebody else's man, girl, you was over there getting married to him. Like, it's a mess. But anywho, there's that. And then also feels like this is Porsha's karma. I think a lot of people feel that way. I think that if you're upset with Kelli, it's just because you're a stan of Porsha, and that's okay, right? But you could be mad about it all day, but Kelli is really just saying and asking the things that everybody else is saying and asking. And that's part of why she's a fan favorite, because one, she's coming in unbiased, not automatically aligning herself to Porsha or anything. Her and Shamia already had a friendship. You know, sometimes you can come on the show and you can come at somebody like a Brit Edie coming for Kenya, or you can come in trying to be besties with one of the stars of the show. And I feel like Kelli didn't really do either, right? She's coming in. I feel like she's being fair. I feel like she's not being biased, and she's being honest about how she sees the situation. And I love that, because who else was going to bring those questions up or try to hold her accountable or anything like that? We know it wasn't going to be her bestie, Shamia. So who was really going to do it? So I'm not mad at Kelli. I do appreciate that. And I feel like she's fair across the board for the most part, in my opinion. I feel like if it's Drew, she gonna say what she say, whether I like it or not. Okay. How some of y'all may come to my channel and watch my content, and you know, you may still like me, but you may not like my opinion on this. And that's okay. That's what makes us all different. And when I give my opinion, I don't really give my opinion to appease y'all like a lot of people might. I'm just gonna tell you how I feel, and we don't have to agree, and that's fine. Okay. But you will respect me, period. Okay. And that's how I feel like Kelli. Like, at the end of the day, you're gonna respect her. And I'm not mad at it at all. Now, she did get a chance to go over onto Access Hollywood, and she did the Housewives nightcap, and she chatted about a few things. She touched on, you know, dating just a little bit, and we'll get to that part at the end, but she does talk about more of the Porsha drama and things, and I want us to, you know, check that out. So let us speed that up just a bit.
Like, old Porsha might not have taken that as well. So where are you two at? And why did you kind of have this, I guess it was suspicion around Porsha's separation?
Well, it wasn't the separation, but, you know, again, I am a straight shooter, okay? I asked a question that I just wanted to know. Was it the appropriate time? Maybe not, but it was the only time. So I figured we would just go ahead and get it out the way. Yeah. But Porsha is delivered. And she did really good, you know? She eventually answered the question, and you'll get to see that. But no, we're good. Me and P, you know, we have this special relationship. I call it, well, it's like a ping and a pong, okay? But, you know, you'll get to see. It's an interesting dynamic, but at the end of the day, we're just like any other sisterhood. And, you know, you might fight, you make up, you might fight again, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I said this to you off camera, but your sit down had me like, I really did feel like I was high. Because I was like, what are these two? What is happening with these women? Like, do they like each other? Do they hate each other?
Yeah, depends on the day.
It was a wild sit down.
Thank you.
But I'm glad to hear you guys seem like you're on a better page.
Today we are. Today we're on the same page. Okay. I don't know how we're going to be tomorrow.
Okay.
That's what I like about Porsha and Kelli. And I feel like that's the dynamic that we're missing with Kenya and Porsha. And I am kind of glad that we're getting a little bit of that with Kelli and Porsha, because the way Kenya was also throwing shade when she was talking to Drew about Porsha singing, asking why Dennis didn't try to help Porsha out with the Flatline song or whatever the case was. So I like that fun shade, but then they're able to, even though Porsha didn't hear that, but they're able to go to lunch and sit down and chat or whatever the case is. So I hate that we were kind of robbed of seeing more of that this season. It's so fucking unfortunate. I wish they would have suspended Kenya for a few episodes, but then brought her back. Like suspended her for like maybe 3 or so episodes, then brought her back. Because if Britt Edie is so devastated by the things that Kenya did, then I feel like give her the opportunity to come back on camera and correct it, like you guys gave the opportunity to Britt to correct with Kenya. Threaten her. Okay, threaten to do bodily harm, things that people can literally go to jail for just for threatening. Okay, and yes, what Kenya may have done could result in a lawsuit of some sort, but also both of them did some wrong. All right, both of them did some wrong. It's just that only one of them got the opportunity to apologize, and I don't think we're gonna see that with Kenya. Maybe if she returns for the reunion, we might get that. But I hate that we were kind of robbed of that, of seeing Kenya apologize and also seeing that dynamic between her and Porsha, having this little nice, nasty thing going on. But baby, Kelli is giving her a little bit of a run for her money, and Porsha's handling it. And I like it because at the same time, as much as I may want to pounce on Porsha, I also want to like Porsha again, like I used to. I'm not even gonna hold y'all, and I know sometimes y'all may see it. Like I know what she did, but sometimes I be wanting to like her, like I used to. And I feel like although she does play in our face at times, I think we might see her at least keep it a buck at some point. And if not, we gonna see. Let me not speak too soon, child. We'll just see how the season play out on whether I may have Porsha back a little bit, or whether I'm gonna have to just call her out about some stuff. But anywho, let us finish getting into more of this sit down with Miss Kelli.
How are you with the other ladies? Is there anyone else that you have any friction with? Who are you really close to?
I'm super close with Shamia. Me and Shamia.
I love Shamia.
We have such an amazing dynamic. She's such an amazing woman. Yeah. She works extremely hard. She's a great mom, a great wife. But and she's most importantly a really great friend, and very loyal. So we just got back from Jamaica for my 40th birthday.
Oh, yeah. How was it?
It was amazing.
That's so great.
Yeah, we had a great time. So
that is so fun. Yeah, Shamia, we love Shamia. All the fans.
Love Shamia.
She's so lovable and sweet, and she's sharing her journey as well. So
it's been great. And Phaedra and Cynthia, just having a great time with all the are honestly. Yeah.
Okay, so you just turned 40. Big deal.
Did.
So we know that you are going through a divorce. We don't know where you are in this process because I know you filmed a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Are you open to love?
I am open to love. Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see what the universe and the man above has for me. I love love. I'm a lover. I was married for 11 years. So, I would definitely love to do life with someone.
Yeah.
I just don't know what that looks like for me. I don't know. It's like you get married and, you don't get married to get divorced. So it's kind of difficult. I don't know about what marriage would look like, but maybe doing life with somebody, maybe just not the paperwork.
Yeah. I think you said something similar in one of the episodes about you don't get married to get divorced. Yeah. And I'm getting married in July, and I was like,
no. You got this. No. You got this, girl. No. You better walk down that aisle.
Yeah.
And he looks like he did a pretty good job.
Okay, I know that's right, girl, because the way you be seeing divorce happen left and right, you be like, oh, shit, all right, because I just got married back in November, so I'm like, oh, shit, what the hell, but everybody's situation is different. Some people have a similar situation, some people don't. We do hear a lot more about divorces than we hear about marriages lasting or whatever. So whatever it is in the future, that's just what it's going to be. But Miss Kelli, girl, I don't think you should date nobody. I think you should take a page out of the book that I gave to Porsha, which is just date around, okay? Don't let nobody get access to your public profile until you feel like things are more solidified. And I think that things should be solidified by paper before it's solidified by marriage, in my personal, okay? People may have given Tina Turner a little bit of flack, possibly, I don't know, maybe back in the day because she never married her partner until towards the end. It was years. That man was a certified boyfriend for a very long periodical time, just like Stedman is to Oprah. So it's giving life partner. We could be a life partner. I might write you in a piece of the will, a little percentage or something like that. But if you think you're finna get access to my entire empire, you got me fucked up. So I think that when you become a rich woman, If you're already, and sometimes people may, let me say this, let me get this out. When you are a rich woman and you're dating, I feel like your dating should be much different than individuals such as myself, and your marriage should be much different than individuals like myself, younger, whatever the case is. But I also think that should you be normal like me or whatever, and then you come into some money and at a later time, I think that post-nups are necessary. I hear that often where people at some point, they may not have had a prenup, but then they turn around and they do a post-nup. Okay, especially when y'all up there doing like 5-year vow renewals. Okay, and in them 5 years, y'all done became a millionaire or both or whatever the case is. I don't think anything's wrong with, a post-nuptial. Maybe in 10 years, y'all still happily married or whatever the case is, and y'all done ran into some money. Do a post-nuptial renewal as well, because, people love doing the vow renewals. Go ahead and do the post-nuptials as well around that same time, that 10-year mark, because in 5 years, in 20 years, it could be different, You just never know. But wishing everybody the best, including myself and Miss Kelli, girl, just have fun. Have fun, because especially with those daughters, and even if you have sons, and, I have sons, I just don't think, like, I didn't bring anybody around my son, my oldest sons. I just feel like, everybody don't deserve that type of access to your family. Okay. It already has to be some steps before they can get to your heart. And to get access to your kids should be even much further behind. So I just feel like take your time, enjoy yourself. Don't take these folks too serious. Hell, don't even take yourself too serious, in my personal. Right? Just have a great time and just pace yourself. And I just feel like after you've been through that, I understand people may still desire, because there are people that get married. Hell, Porsha is one, and others that's been married maybe once, twice, and still desire to have that happily ever after. And I think that it'll come. I just think that it's okay to not rush into those things as well. Okay. Especially as a person that got their financial affairs in order, period. But either way, good luck. All right. Let us go ahead and move on. And I want us to get to Cynthia Bailey, who also had a sit down with Access Hollywood over on Housewives Nightcap. And she has some things to talk about when it came down to the Housewives. Okay. She is going to talk about Kenya Moore. It seems that these ladies have not been in much conversation in almost a year. That's really sad, but also not surprising. Kenya and Cynthia have both had some friction in their friendship previously. And I don't know. I think when people are calling Kenya out, because you could be a stan, fan, whatever, and friend, but it's okay if you feel like something was done distastefully. I think it's okay to say, if you just, because even myself, I don't know what Kenya did. I'm not going to say I don't care what she did, but what I will say is I just feel like when you are celebrating your moment and yourself for a place that you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars for, I don't think that anyone else in that moment deserves a part of that shine. Just like I feel like sometimes celebrities may beef with a person when their album's about to drop, or they got a project coming, or just period. When you have millions of followers, I just kind of feel like some people don't deserve that attachment to your brand, in a sense. And whenever they think of your location or what you have going on, they're going to always think of that other person. And I just don't think that that's cool. I don't think that that's fair to you. In my personal, they don't deserve that type of moment at that time to be a part of it. And you kind of, you just overshadow what you have going on. And I hate that for Kenya. And I will say that I don't know what she did. And I may even justify her in some. I'm not going to hold you. But I am a bit disappointed as a piece of Team Twirl. I am a little bit disappointed that she allowed another person to kind of overshadow, or her actions towards another person to overshadow. And I understand if it was done after the event was supposedly over, but still, I just think that it could have been done at a later time, but that's just my, my personal, and really it could have been done at the reunion. You could have just took a picture of it, whatever it was, and you could have just passed around what you found on the internet. Right? This was out there on the internet. I'm just passing it around. Just like people come to the reunion and show their phones. Here's the receipts, Andy. Here's the such and such, Andy. But, whatever happened did kind of backfire just a little bit. And we're still wishing, the best for Kenya. And for me, I would like to see her back on the show. I feel like people have done worse. All right. And they may have taken a step away from Bravo, but they were able to return. But I think there was an interview that Kenya did last year that may have potentially rubbed the producers the wrong way, but it also may have been a buildup, right? It may not have just been that one interview clip. It may have been a buildup of things, right? They bring a lot to the show, but then it also could be, I can't stand working with this person, but damn, they are great at what they do. Okay, so it could have been a situation like that. You know, Kenya has felt in the past not protected by producers. And if nobody understood, you know, from a Nene situation or from Kenya saying that in the interview, I do feel like witnessing it on their show is one of those examples. But enough of me. Let's get into Miss Cynthia Bailey.
Drew and Porsha.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I have to bring it back to myself. I would never, ever do business or bring on the show to film anyone's baby daddy, anyone's husband, anyone's boo, at this point, anyone's cousin. If you're related to one of these ladies on the show or connected to them in any way, I just personally wouldn't bring them on to film. But, you know, Drew said Dennis was her angel, savior, blessing, whatever she said. So if God himself actually sent Drew Dennis, then I'm not going to go against God and we're just going to receive it. Drew is so talented and her album is incredible.
You did.
It is. And I have to pause right there and say this. I feel like, one, Drew is working with Dennis, so it makes sense as to why he is a part of her storyline. She's using the show to promote her music, right? But also, I guess when Cynthia puts it like that, I do kind of understand a little bit if Porsha needed him for her storyline. You know, like, you ain't got to film with him. But then I also feel like, what if it was just like because I mean, she hasn't really filmed with him for real. I feel like we only seen Dennis in the previous episode. Just that one time in the studio. So it's not like, I feel like, Porsha, you about to film with Dennis more than her, have you? Maybe it's been equal. She's had Dennis in a short clip. I feel like the shots you've had with Dennis were much longer than what Drew has had. I mean, I feel like it was like 2 minutes. So I get it, but then I just don't think it's a big deal at the same time. You know, like, I mean, if you have other people that you could potentially film with, like the drama you have with Ralph going on, then it is kind of like film with that. But to make it a super big deal, it's like, Porsha, you ain't got nothing else going on with your marriage or divorce, and you need some other distracting moments. You need some other things to get into, and that's why you're using Drew as the storyline, as you try to say Drew was using you as a storyline. And I'm like, how? She's scared to even approach you.
You were like, baby daddies hit different.
Yes, they do.
So, you know, I don't know. Shamia and Porsha, we hear that they're not good, which is sad.
It is sad. It is sad. They are definitely going through some issues in their friendship. Yeah. And it's hard to watch because, you know, they've been friends for so long. Yeah. And I think that, you know, that matters. I feel like, you know, they're so close. Yeah. I mean, from like, I don't know, like middle school, like it's been a long ride for them. And I'm hoping that they will get on the other side of it. I really hope this is just a moment that they're going through and they'll figure it out. But you guys have to watch all that play out because it is going to definitely play out on the show.
Okay. Porsha showing up to the birthday party was not her best moment, I will say. I was like,
Porsha was late as hell to that birthday party. I was like, at one point we were filming, I was like, wait, oh, is Porsha still coming? Like, it wasn't great. But I was definitely tardy for that part.
She was tardy for that party. But I was laughing because literally the next day after I watched that episode, I saw a headline that was like, Atlanta worst city for traffic in the country. And I was like,
true. In Porsha's defense, we do have really bad traffic in Atlanta, which is why you have to leave a little earlier, like I do.
I was cracking up. It was too good. Okay. Big story coming out of this season, which we have yet to see unfold, is Britt and Kenya.
Yes.
Everything that goes down there. Are you in touch with Kenya? Has your relationship changed based on what happened?
I have not spoken to Kenya since around the time that whole thing happened. Okay. And, you know, that's really kind of a sad situation for me because I was there to just support her salon. I'm so proud of her. I know how hard she's worked on it. And it's just, I was just so disappointed to see her vision be overshadowed by what happened at the salon, which you guys will see. I felt like that should have been the focus because, you know, that was her like life dream, like building this hair care empire. And I just wish she had called me before or like, you know, I definitely would have like, this is your moment. This is like beautiful. The entire event was amazing. And it just ended on not such a great note. And I let her know that, you know, because I just thought it was beneath her. You know, I hold my friends to a standard. You know, Kenya is a woman of class. I just felt like it was beneath her, and I was a little disappointed in how she responded.
Yeah. I could see when I asked you about her that there's like a lot of hurt.
It's like my least favorite question because like this is someone that I do care about, and I have to respect her space. I have reached out. I reached out during that time, and texted, I called, and I respect if she needs a minute, and she knows that when she's ready to talk to me, I'll be right here.
Yeah, it makes me really sad when there's true pain going on this show, and I can see that for sure there is.
Yeah, actually, when I watched the scene back, I forgot that I was actually emotional in that scene. I was like watching it, I was like mortified, obviously, with the rest of the cast, and I just didn't like it. I just didn't want that to be her moment. I didn't. And when I was, in the scene, you'll see it play out. I say that you're just better and bigger than this, and I just don't want to be here. Like, I'm just gonna leave, and I love you. And I was like, literally, there were tears in my eyes because I just want the best for her, and I want her. I know what she's capable of as she's a great mom, and I see the vision for what she's trying to do with Kenny Moore Hair Care. And I was like, no, this is not it. This is not it. This is not it. So,
well, we will see how it all plays out.
Yes.
Child, listen, I mean, to me, it looked like in that moment, Cynthia wanted to cry all over again, not only because of the situation that happened, but then also, just not having Kenya around on the show and her not talking to her, like, doing something that's really possibly going to change the trajectory of things, okay, for Kenya, potentially financially, not sure. But then also at the same time, y'all, I kind of feel like, well, why you wasn't this damn emotional when Britt was over there making them fucking threats towards Kenya? To me, just a little bit. I understand you sad, she not talking to you. You hate that Kenya did that. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna leave. Like, oh, you're better than this. Now, some part I understand because it's like, okay, Kenya, whatever that girl did, she was just running her mouth. She made herself look like a fool. You didn't even have to do this. Then I also understand the part of, girl, she wasn't even worth it at your event. But then also at the same time, you don't know Britt. You do not know Britt. Britt sitting up there acting like she's so afraid of being over there on Bankhead, but she ready to bank somebody's head. Okay, over there on Bankhead, talk about she got whips and she got pistols and all of this stuff. When it wasn't even that serious, you're doing all of this over a hug. Okay, I'm not talking unless you giving me hugs, not a pat on the back, unless you holding me tight. You hear me? Like, that's what it's, and it's like, girl, I don't even much know you like that. I'm being very cordial. I tell you how pretty you are. Like, what else do you do? What more do you want from me? You're so bothered by Kenya that you talking about some whips and pistols or whatever the case, and ain't no telling what else you about said when you standing out there going on a damn rant. So my thing is, why you wasn't emotional over that as well? That somebody sitting up there threatening her life, and this is the time where Kenya hasn't really done anything. I feel like Kenya has definitely done stuff to get a reaction out of motherfuckers, for sure. When she snatched that chair from up under Kim Fields, I'll never forget it. I said, I wish Kim Fields would have slapped the fire. Okay, I wish she would have slapped her ass all the way back to that hotel, wherever they were staying at, because Kenya was wrong as hell, right? And maybe if Kim would have threatened her, then it would have been warranted, because you literally snatched this lady chair from up under her, like you was out of line. But at the same time, like, now that we're here, right? Not excusing that behavior, but acknowledging the fact that Kenya literally did nothing wrong in this moment. So you didn't want to cry for Argentina at that moment? I guess I do understand what Cynthia is saying, but at the same time, I feel like if I was in Kenya's shoes, girl, have more sympathy for me when I tell you that my life is being threatened and this girl is over here talking about pistols and stuff. A lot of people like to downplay things and be like, oh, they just talking. She ain't talking about like, you never know. Yeah, people just be talking until they actually do. And then once they start doing, then everybody want to be like, oh, girl, it ain't no different to me. And this I'm finna go too far off, okay? Y'all finna be like, Jami, now you know that ain't even the same. Girl, it's gonna be the same on today. Period, okay? Just like some of y'all thought that man in office wasn't gonna do something. He just talking. He just saying stuff. Oh, he's only saying, if you vote for me, you never have to vote again because, he only get 2 terms. Now what they trying to do? Okay, y'all be downplaying what it is that people be saying out their motherfucking mouth and very, very rarely be watching them actions and stuff. Now y'all sitting over here in turmoil and chaos and yikey. Okay, so at the end of the day, what I'm saying is y'all just be taking people's words for just a little piece until they turn around and bring a piece. Child, either way, good luck to the people, because they're going to do what they want to do anyway, because it's just how they is. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. I am Jami. That's me. That's all that I have for you guys at this time, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters. as I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a praxis. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone